Hi everyone, how are you? Well, this is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Vechain, the ticker's VET versus dollar. Once again, thank you for your continued support, okay? Big up the CoinsKid crew and everything that you do, okay? Cheers for your support. So right now, Vechain, it's looking okay-ish. I'm not going to lie to you. This is our long-term projection. There is a bit of a signal that worries me, to be honest with you, that we are looking at potentially more downturn. Not necessarily downturn, more of a level of consolidation, probably backtesting a couple of key levels of support before we actually make these new highs at the moment for Vechain. So you may stumble across a better opportunity here to actually get involved in Vechain. Again, not financial advice, but I'm just going to show you something, okay? Now this is called the MACD. Do you see this here? This is called the MACD, and this is the weekly time frame right here. And it's looking at the history of Vechain. This is called a bearish cross, okay? Where the signal line crosses the MACD line. That's called a bearish cross, and you can see we've just formed one right there, and we've got 3 weeks of downturn for Vechain. So right now I'm going to show you where this has happened. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that because it's happened before it'll happen again, but I just want to show you each time we've formed the bearish cross for Vechain on the weekly, we've entered quite a long level of sort of not necessarily downturn, but a level of consolidation. And the shortest level we've had was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. Do you see that? We actually went into 4 weeks before we started to get a convergence and we started to turn a corner. So effectively, have we got one more week left of sort of downturn? Have we got another week of falling before we actually get a pickup here for Vechain? This is quite a negative signal, this MACD, okay? The cross, the bearish cross, because you can see each time you do form the bearish cross, you get a longer level drawn out of consolidation, effectively, where it comes back down to gravity and you get the red candles. Do you see that? So do anticipate that Vechain potentially as a target, I'm going to show you a target right now, could actually come down to this 55 EMA right here, okay, which is not a bad thing, okay? You would still almost make a double bottom, but it will take a bit of time to get there. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to bust out unless it does, but I'm just showing you something that I've seen before. It could bust out here and absolutely melt faces, break this high in continuation. But personally, I think what's happened here for Vechain, as I've outlined in so many videos, Bitcoin included, got a little bit overextended, okay, and now it's falling back to support. It's holding support. You're looking at a long sort of drawn out fourth wave of this Elliott wave theory before we get the continuation and the upside to $1.50. Do you see that? I don't predict that we're going to do something like this for Vechain, okay? But again, I've not got a crystal ball. What I do anticipate is something very similar like this, where we had this wave 2, this ABC correction. We've already had the ABC correction right here, but we're just sort of consolidating in a range for a bit, potentially coming down to the 55 to test it as support, because you can see right now we've not actually tested the 55 as support. But what I want to show you is that if you did come down to the 55 right now and test it as support, you would still be making a higher low and potentially a double bottom on the weekly time frame right there. So there is a bit of a reversal pattern on Vechain on the 8-hourly time frame. I'm going to show you that in a moment, but I just want to reassure you that potentially you're looking at a better opportunity to get involved in Vechain on a retest of this 55 EMA, okay? Currently sits at 06817, and obviously as weeks go by, this starts to creep up. The support gets higher and higher, and again, like I said to you, if you do start to roll, it's still, you're making high lows and you enter a level of consolidation, just longer drawn out before getting to these highs up here in this bull run. Do you see that for Vechain? Sort of like what you did here, okay, where you sort of came back and you bounced and then you started to go higher lows. Continuation broke out and created that third wave there for Vechain. So I just want to reassure you that I still believe we are in a bull market, but potentially you're looking at a deeper test for Vechain. So I'm just going to show you the 8-hourly time frame for Vechain, okay? So with Vechain on the 8-hourly time frame, then you can see it's formed some kind of rising wedge just here. Do you see this? Very similar pattern to what Cardano's formed. Obviously, you've lost support just there. We failed to really break through that level of resistance right there, didn't we? Look, the longer you hang around resistance, go short. Do you see that? This was a massive signal just there that we were struggling at that level of resistance, and you can see we failed to break above it. Unfortunately, we had a little break, didn't we? And then it come back down. Do you remember that? It looked quite positive, but obviously you've lost this level of support right here. When you lose support, you go short. Now there is a breakdown target for this rising wedge, okay, and it is this. I will show you this. So this is the rising wedge pattern. Do you see this? Like that, and you've lost support. So from that you have a breakdown target, and your breakdown target is just here where you form the wedge, just there. Okay, so do anticipate that you could see a further correction for Vechain here if it continues to come up and hit its head on the 8 hourly 20 EMA here. This is where you can see a continuation of a bit of a downtrend for Vechain before hopefully it finds that bottom. And then look how close that is to the 55 EMA retest on the weekly as well. Okay, look, by the time it actually comes down there, you would see the 55 EMA creeping up and hopefully get the back test of support. So do put some cheeky bids on that particular level just there, the 55 EMA on the weekly time frame. If you do start to see Vechain roll over anymore, put some cheeky bids on that particular level, okay? Because I would expect it to bounce there, and you may not get it as low as that in this bull run for Vechain. So yeah, that's basically Vechain at the minute, unless you start to break back above these EMAs on the 8 hourly time frame, get back above the 20 and then the 55, and then invalidate this move here by breaking this high here. I'll show you what this high is. So if you could see Vechain come up and break that high, you wouldn't carry out this pattern, because like I said to you, the pattern that's in play is valid until invalidated away, and this is your breakdown target just here, okay? And it is, I don't know why I've removed that, but it is there. So from here, this is a further correction for Vechain of around about 33% down to that particular level. But obviously, if you do start to break right now, if you do start to break and get back above these levels just here, and this key level of resistance as well, you do need to see yourself break that high to invalidate this pattern, okay? Because like I said to you, the pattern that's in play is valid until invalidated away, and at the moment you come down, you've hit your head, and you're continuing to come down towards this sort of level down here, okay? So I've took that out again. I do apologise, I dropped that in because, you know, some of you may want to put some cheeky bids on there, but I would imagine if you do see a little wick down below that particular level, if it continues, it's all a big if as well, by the way, but if you do start to see it continue to tail off and it's head on the 20 on the 8 hour, then do put some cheeky bids on that particular level there. But personally, I'm putting some cheeky bids on the 55 EMA on the weekly, and hopefully I can grab some bargains down there for Vechain. And again, it is a big if, okay, because like I said to you, you could get a lovely little bounce here, get a pick up and get a reversal just here, because you're still making high lows. Look, you low, a low and a higher low. You see that? So you're still sort of looking relatively healthy, and you're still making higher highs, but you have fallen out of a rising wedge pattern right there, and the target is this, okay? And even that, even look, if you landed there, boom, you're still making high lows, okay? So I want to reassure you, it's just having a correction. It's still relatively healthy for continuation in this bull run for Vechain. Take care, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with another update on Vechain. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay tuned. Bye bye.